live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. It's your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Trading Floor with your humble host, Angie Barbosa, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, which is me, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, folks? From around the world? Hope you're doing fantastically fantastic. It is the 26th of April, Tech Giant Tuesday. How's everyone doing today? Doing well? Weather's beautiful here in Nashville. Sun is shining. Not a lot of clouds in the sky. We lost our softball game last night. We're 0-6 now. We played 2 games a night, so it was like doubleheaders back to back. Our team is not very good. Not the best. But we're having fun, though. That's for sure. Having a blast. Having a good old time. Neil says, your audio is way more distorted than normal. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm sorry about that. No clue. Maybe it might be an internet thing, possibly. It shouldn't be. Probably is. But we are working on a new platform, by the way, which so far haven't had a lot of audio issues with it. So we're going to continue to get a little bit better. And that's probably upcoming relatively in the near future. Because that's, again, the audio is the biggest issue that I've had with ClickWebinar. Is just all the time there's an issue, like, you know, on the daily basis. It's always a little frustrating. It'll sound perfect in the recording, just in case. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so here's the SPY. We're hanging out. Not a lot changing on the SPY, ladies and gentlemen. I still am considering this one. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I don't think I will necessarily. Maybe tomorrow. Oops, internet connection just died. So you should be able to hear me again. Internet back. I turned the one other internet device that's on in the entire house. Again, I don't think it's the internet. I think it's just ClickWebinar taking up too much bandwidth. Sweet. All right. I didn't really say much. Definitely going to be talking Apple. You guys know I'm excited about it. I'm excited about today in general. There's so much stuff going on. Really pumped. Here's the SPY. SPY, considering this guy right here, the 215, 216 bear call spread for May, still considering it. I think I'll probably make up my mind as the end of the week draws to an end and determine if there's going to be enough premium in there to hop in. Again, it's above the all-time high, and sell in May and go away could definitely become a thing. We're still making higher lows, though. That angle, this angle, so we're still going up. The only real checkpoint that I have on the SPY, which I guess could qualify for 2 or 3 checkpoints, is just the size and the strength of this resistance up here on the SPY. The time frame would probably get a check mark, and the premium might. So let's look into that a little bit more as the week progresses. We'll see what happens after all these gap downs on the tech stocks and what kind of progresses in the future. Because again, this could pull the market down a little bit tomorrow, because there are definitely some big names down right now. We'll be looking at a lot of them this afternoon. So I'm excited. Got a lot to look at. Let's check out the other indices really, really quickly. The Qs, honestly, guys, depending on tomorrow, I mean, there's definitely some bearish volume coming in here. You have a bearish gap. I did mention that I think this would happen, could happen, or might happen. But Demit and a few of my other traders are in bearish on the Qs since the gap down that occurred on Friday. Very bearish gap on Friday. And I still got a ways to go before my bull put spread's an issue. Again, you got the 100 and the 200 simple moving average and the 50, and you got all the moving averages on the weekly chart, 106, 105. But hey, it's the market. We could easily break those levels. So we'll see. I'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. I'm assuming we gap down tomorrow in the market, and then from there, I'm more or less hoping we trade bullish just for the sake of the Qs, but I don't truly know, honestly, what's going to happen. Here's your Dow Jones. Dow Jones, not much to talk about on the Dow. Approaching resistance, doing its thing, looking good. And let's go look at the IWM. IWM. Trading to a little bit of resistance. Not too much going on in the IWM. Just hanging out and yeah, doing its thing. So yeah, don't really have any trade set up on the IWM specifically. And today, again, XLK is Tech Giant Tuesday. Here's the technology sector, which is very similar to the Qs. Again, here's your resistance and your resistance level right about here at $44. Very, very strong resistance level on the XLK. We have traded back up to that level. And granted, the last few days, again, we did have a bearish retest gap. So there's the bearish retest gap right there. We have retested, and we could trade down a little bit. So there are some bearish signals out there on some of the tech stocks. It will be very interesting to see how they play out. So I know you're all here and pumped and excited about Apple. Let's definitely look at Apple. Let's get it pulled up. Let's create some trading plans for it and hopefully make a little bit of money and trade our plans and all that kind of good stuff. Steven wants me to put in CRUS if we have time. Got it. Apple. Big Daddy. Here we go. Right now it is down about 7%. Right now about 8 points or 7.6%. So the good news is, as of now, it is trading at about this level. So I'll draw, it's right about here. So again, if Apple gaps too much tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the after hours data. So here's your 5-minute chart, and let me pull up after hours just a second. You can kind of see what's going on. So here's the after hours data. I'll hide all the drawing for just a moment. And I mean, you got some insane volatility coming in, a lot of upper shadows. That's what I'm calling for. I'm calling for a gap down and a trade up tomorrow. It doesn't have to be a huge bullish candle, but that's what I'm calling for on Apple. It really will depend on the location of the gap. So if I turn the charting back on, we can take this one off because we're not going to open up there. So right now it's about 96.42. So in order for me to trade it bearish, we're going to need to open at about 102 or about 98. If we don't open down there, if we open about 96 and some change, I'll actually be looking to go long on Apple at about 95. So if we trade into these supports, it won't have to, I could do it on a day trade, but probably on a swing level. I'll see if I can pick up some more shares on Apple down there. If not, no big deal. But my goal / plan at this point is to look for some longs down at this level. So again, a gap down here, depending on the candle. It is a bearish gap, no denying that, but it's going to depend a little bit on the volume, some of the hourly charts. Might consider a weekly bull put spread down here or some put sales. Some shares, some calls. It depends on where Apple opens, but my thought process is that we are a little bit of a bullish candle tomorrow. And the only reason I'm saying that is based on the location. Based on location, we have been selling off pretty fiercely coming into earnings. We've gone from 112 to 104, so that's 8 points. So 8 points or about 8% coming into earnings. We're going to be down another 8%, so that's 16% of a retracement in less than a week. Unless we open in one of these bearish zones on Apple tomorrow, I relatively expect a slightly bullish, kind of a candle that probably looks like this tomorrow is my guess. So he said, I can see those faders fading it tomorrow morning. Yep, I can as well. So we'll probably, if I had to guess, we'll gap down, trade up, roll over, and trade up again. Take a screenshot. That's what I'm thinking happens on Apple relatively on the 15-minute chart. I don't know exactly to what size or extent, but that's my plan for tomorrow. That's what I'm going to be watching. And I do like Apple at these levels. And guys, this could be fun, right? For those of you who might have missed buying down here and riding that up, we might get another shot at it. If it trades down here and bounces, awesome. It obviously does not have to, because I will say, again, this is a bearish gap on Apple. It's a bearish gap and go, but based on the location, it's a little, just a tad bullish. What do you guys think? Questions, thoughts on Apple? Timmy says, I can see those faders fading it tomorrow morning. Yep, I can see that. Collar over earnings would have worked out relatively well. Some puts are going to be worth some money tomorrow morning. Again, if you're in shares, we're just going to have to wait for all of this to happen again to get back up to that resistance, and we might be able to trade this giant channel. So again, that's a pretty strong possibility. I don't know if that happens or not, but that's at least what I'm looking forward to on Apple. Man, Brad's going to have to call the open tomorrow, too. He's going to have a lot of analysis to look at. He'll probably think the same thing. At least that's my guess. There we go. All right, cool. There's Apple. Questions? Niels, you got anything for me? Cool. Well, that's what I got on Apple. If you guys have anything else, feel free to throw it my way. Neil says, I'm still long. Me too, man. Long term. I have no short-term trade on Apple right now. Only long shares. But it is okay. So we'll see what happens at the open tomorrow. And if we're long, I mean, I'll probably just wait for this to happen again. And then sell some covered calls at that resistance. And maybe buy some calls on the way up. Sell some puts right here. Do some bull put spreads. Plenty of time. We ain't got nothing but time, man. That's all we got. Apple done. Amazon not coming out with earnings until later this week, but we can absolutely create a plan for Amazon. I forget where I said it. I think it was in Monday's review. But Monday's review is pretty much my sentiments exactly on Amazon. I do think we're gapping down tomorrow. Here's the best that I got. I'll try to draw some zones. I think Amazon gaps fades whatever gap it does. A gap down gets bought and a gap up gets sold. Unless we open perfectly in the zones. So let me see if I can find the pivot on Amazon, because really I don't have a massive one. I think if we opened just right about there, I think we could run a little bit. And if we gapped, oh, I don't know. If we opened right in here, I think we could have a little bit of bearish action. But that's going to be about it on Amazon. So Amazon's not setting itself up too perfectly. Last time was just a really, really good gap. We had a lot of fun on Amazon last time. So here's what we're looking at. And the reason I think it's going to fade is if it trades up. It's been up really, really bullish. A gap up into here or a gap up into the 700s, I think, plays out either like this one or like this one. On the day trade, what I'm really referring to, on the day trade. So on the swing, we'll have to analyze that day's candle to really see what we're playing, and I have to kind of get the gap. But that's kind of my plan. That's really it on Amazon. So I'll post it. Amazon pre-earnings analysis. And I'll post... Might as well pull up that YouTube real life stock review from yesterday anyway. Alright, come over here. Anyone got any trade on Amazon at the moment? Okay, here's my earnings stock review from Monday. I think Amazon fades the gap for... I'll just kind of copy and paste this. Oh gosh, something's freezing. Try this again. Copy and paste. Red zone would be bearish. Green zone bullish. Bam, 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 bam. All right, I'm neutral. Ray says, glad I bought back Apple puts. Oh, your put sales? Me too, man. Me too. All right, there we go. That's what I got on Amazon. And that's going to be a really interesting earnings play. I would actually prefer a gap down. And I'd really prefer a gap down to here, day traded bearish, and then a bounce off that pivot, and we form like another channel on Amazon. That's what I would like to see. This has been a very, very volatile stock recently. Here's your long-term moving average on a weekly chart. Man, I'd love to buy Amazon back at 450, but it's going to take some time before we get back down there. All right, that's all I got on Amazon. Ladies and gents, that is it. That's it. All right. Amazon, done. Google, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-wee! Google. I am happy about Google right now. So I posted a new video in the Real Life Trading YouTube channel. If you guys get a chance to subscribe to that. If you get a chance to watch it, I posted it in the group me today also, which is kind of my plan on Google. Let's take a really quick minute. I thought about maybe watching it. I guess we could. Well, whatever. I'll just send it to you guys. Here's the video, just in case you want it. This is pretty much just a recap of what I said Friday and then yesterday. So as you guys know, Friday I mentioned, hey, we're going to get an inside day candle. Here's the wager. Got an inside day candle. Why is that important? Because if we get an inside day candle, I figured that the trade would look a lot like Netflix. And as I mentioned yesterday, my plan was for the stock to gap up and trade down. So this morning, I bought puts. That was the plan. Stop above the wick. Trade target about 699. That was the exact plan that we discussed yesterday. And Google, again, bearish gap and go. Brian Bodie's got some bear call spreads. We were very, very close to day trading this one bearish today, but it just didn't wait on us. Here's a day trade that I wanted, and just didn't quite wait on it. So it was right here. There's the support. Low of the day break, but it was a lunchtime low of the day, which I usually don't trade those. And you saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black candles in a row. I wanted some more white candles to come in, but just never got it. Unfortunately, it just absolutely got wrecked. So I missed that day trade. It actually hurt a little bit to miss that one because Google really, really sold off strong. But oh well. Too bad. Stan says holding a May 670 short put. All right. 670. Got it. Good area to own some shares. Rob, what you got, brother? Anyone else got any position on Google? So I know Brian Bodie exited his puts that he bought on earnings today. He mentioned that in Group Me. I got into some puts at open. Put sales, Stan J, May. 670. Rob says close Google. May 790 covered call for 50 cents. Well done, buddy. All right, sweet. So Rob sold some covered calls. That expired worthless. Fantastic. So what's Google going to do? I don't know 100%. I wish I did. But here's my plan on Google. We're going to pause a little bit, I would assume, at the 200 simple moving average tomorrow. Here's your hourly chart. And your hourly chart, we ended with a white candle. So I will say this. If we gap down tomorrow below the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart, which is about 719. If we open about 714 tomorrow, I'm going to look to short Google again, maybe add to my position and trade it down to 699. That's going to be my target, and I'll be pretty pumped if that trade works out. Brian Bodie's bear call looks good. That expires not this Friday, but next Friday. Shouldn't have an issue with that one. Any other questions, concerns, thoughts on Google? I will say, as you guys might be typing them in, I do have, I would like another bear call spread right here. My only small concern is we could do this or we could do this. But I will say, I mean, I like a bear call spread in that general area. Just really depends on the timing of it. Edge bearish on Google. All right, sweet. Worked out like a pro. All right, let's hop over to Twitter. One of the 9 companies I'm always bearish on. Pretty much every single earnings I'm in bearish just a tad. Sometimes I lose, sometimes I don't, but Twitter likes to gap. Twitter likes to be bearish at some point on earnings. So really it gapped down on earnings this time and still actually ended up running a little bit. So I got stopped out for a very small loss on that one. This one worked out well. This one worked out well. And I don't know what this one's going to do. But it's gapping down to 1556. So my guess was that Twitter would gap up. Only because it's gapped down the last 3 times in a row. I thought it would gap up and then trade down. So I was going to buy some more puts at open. Nope, not happening. So it's gapping down right now to about 1555. This is a pretty big gap. Realistically, below here, and I'm definitely not bearish. I'm definitely not bullish, I should say. Below that candle, 1533 and 1548. All right, I'm going to move this over. I'm going to make this bearish. And I'm just going to add to the one that I posted earlier today. Okay. Twitter did not gap up. Not a surprise. Right now, if Twitter can open below 1533, I will not be bullish. It's down a solid amount. I'll wait a bit, aka won't short at open. But an open in this bearish zone, I'll have a bearish bias pretty much all day. So I'll be looking to play it bearish if it opens below that level. If it doesn't, I'll just be a little bit patient. So Twitter has a good opportunity to be fun tomorrow. Let's hop over here, pull this up. Bam, bam, and there we go. Hop over here. Okay. Just an update. Steven says Twitter was down after hours, wasn't it? Yep. 15% right now, buddy. Still is. So there we go. Down to 1553. So right now it's a pretty decent open, but I will say it is opening at this support. So if it gaps down that support and bounces, could be a strong gap, but pretty nice little gap on Twitter as it stands right now. Beautiful. Okay, got Twitter. Let's update our VRX trade. So VRX, I had a bullish swing trade on and might have had my stop too tight. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I did. I got stopped out today. Pretty much almost the low of the day. So my stop was right here. Entry was right here. I was just basing on that candle. I guess my stop could have been a little bit lower. Either way, all I can say on VRX is I will be keeping another close eye on trading this one bullish. I might try this one more again until earnings. So it's got to be a really quick trade. Let's see. I very likely will try it again like this on VRX. I won't make that official since we already lost on it. But if you guys want to try it again, that's how I would. Today is a new white soldier. You know, so we just got stopped out. Again, maybe my stop's a little too tight. I rarely do that, but it happens sometimes. But again, overall, I mean, this trade, it might not work. It's going to be all about the gap for me. So if it gaps down and trades up, I'll like that much better. And I think this time I'll put my stop below the moving average. So this trade, I'll really just try to get my R back or get some of my R back as it approaches into earnings. That's really going to be my objective, I think, on VRX. I don't think I'm going to hold that one for the hills. I'm just going to kind of let it do whatever it ends up doing. But you know, if I can make some profit back on it, either as a day trade or a swing trade, I really will consider it. And if I can't, then I won't. And if this trade doesn't trigger or play out, then before earnings, I'll just kind of cut it loose and make it happen. Just FYI, on VRX, just kind of my setup, and we got stopped out fine. Sometimes you got to take the trade twice. I don't think it's a revenge trade. I felt very comfortable about what we did on it. We did not have any slippage, which is a really, really big deal. That's a huge deal, in fact. So anything else? All right, that's VRX. Just like a small little update. Here's Fitbit. We are still in a bullish trade on Fitbit. Today is Tech Giant Tuesday. So I guess at this particular point in time, looks like we're going to increase our stop up just a little bit on Fitbit. So we're going to do our best to lose less than an R. I will say right here, as of today, if Fitbit does not stop out or hit our target, we will exit before earnings, more or less for whatever we are. So I'm going to take that stop and move it up on Fitbit to 1604, which is, again, below all the moving averages. So it does appear that we're kind of pulling back and we're trying to bounce a little bit off the moving averages. That's what we're trying to do. The 100 symbol is going to hold it down a little bit. Doesn't appear it's going to be a very monumentally exciting trade unless we can get something awesome with it. All right, Niels, have a good one, brother. Take care, man. So there's VRX and Fitbit. Alibaba and Yahoo, we don't have really too much to talk about. Baba has earnings coming up soon. This wick is not accurate right here. Got a bull put spread. So a lot of you are in a 73, 72 bull put spread that expires this Friday. That should be just fine. Don't really have any issue with that one. Again, this wick is not real. And for some of the bullish trades out there, if you got a chance to snag some profits on Baba, awesome. Otherwise, last 2 or 3 days, probably got stopped out for some small losses on the bullish trade. And really right now it's just kind of grinding sideways. So this bull put spread expires worthless Friday on Baba, and I won't be doing anything else on Baba until earnings. Yahoo, same thing. Don't have a trade set up on Yahoo at the moment. This is a bullish gap, but I do think that gap fades a little bit because Yahoo has really been on a monumental tear since February. I mean, this is a really, really strong gain on Yahoo. I'm interested to see exactly if it can hold up this momentum overall. My thought from this point is it'll pull back likely, and that pullback very well could be buyable. Right? It could be a buyable pullback. I'm not afraid of that, but just saying right now, I don't have an exact setup on Yahoo. If you do have shares, which some of you do, I'd probably consider, I don't know, getting into a covered call. Let's see. Yahoo. Click over here. And let's look at May. And probably go with May 40. Again, this is the time to sell is selling to strength. Buying to weakness, selling to strength. $40 at 32 cents. Why, yes, I will. Again, I know some of you guys got some shares of Yahoo. That's probably what I would go with. $40. Again, for 32 cents. May. That's about it on Yahoo. Stan's got the 37 covered call. All right, sweet, man. What expiration is that, buddy? Is that also May? He said yes. All right, fantastic. Great job being patient on this one, too. I know you. This is... What covered call is this for you on Yahoo? You've done a few of them. May, Stan J. Been doing it for over a year. Well done, man. All right, 37... Bam, bam. Awesome. All right, so there's those two, just as a little bit of an update / tidbit. And again, I think Yahoo looks like it's going to pull back a little bit and then dip. Hopefully those covered calls expire worthless for those of you in those shares. And if you don't have shares, maybe we could look to buy the dip back down around 28 on Yahoo. So there it is, Bob at Yahoo, done. Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Great analysis, ladies and gentlemen, on Netflix. So we're still slowly creeping down just a bit. Here's the retest. And there it is, continuing lower. So really the lower low and lower high / confirmation candle was yesterday on Netflix. And it's just kind of continuing down bearish. So Niels is in a May put sale at 80. Few others are looking to get in, including yours truly. Looking to get into a put sale down there for May. Right now, it's about 42 cents. Probably going to wait for a little bit more of this action and then sell the put down there on Netflix. Or maybe even a bull put spread. I'm not sure. But for a long-term level, again, I've mentioned this 150 times. If we trade down into this area, I'm looking to go long Netflix. Good risk reward, right? It's not going to be a short-term trade by any means. You know, it's not going to be a trade that you're like, oh yeah, sure, you know, I want that to happen in a month. So I probably won't track it on our worksheet, but I'll say, you know, a few times, all right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a long-term trade. I'm going to pick up some shares and kind of go from there. Sweet. Questions on Netflix? A lot of you guys got some bear call spread, so those are looking good. Awesome. Alrighty, that's Netflix. Fantastic. All right. Let's hop over to GoPro, ticker symbol GPRO. And GoPro not doing too much. Really, the 100 simple moving average is doing to GoPro what I think it's going to do to, I don't know, Fitbit and all the other smaller, newer IPO tech stocks that are out that got really, really just run over. I think it's going to trade sideways and get pounded in that 100. So you do have a really good resistance. I agree that earnings could be exciting. I don't necessarily anticipate a large gap, but again, if you're looking to play a straddle or strangle, I personally like strangles because I like out of the money. It doesn't cost as much. I would consider GoPro because again, it's trading sideways. So if it gaps really, really strong, it could really break out of that little pattern right there. A bullish gap could be a lot of fun. You know, if it opened above here, bearish gap, we'll see. I think it's going to go bearish anyway. But we'll see. So Fernando's in some July 14 calls, just in case it does gap nicely. So he's hanging out on that one, seeing what that one's going to do. Just an update on GoPro. We'll come up with some more analysis on that in the near future. All right, what else do we have? I think it's going to be about it on that one. 3D printing. So 3D printing today, still don't have anything at the moment. We're showing a little bit of weakness up here at this resistance. I don't think this occurs. Again, earnings is in the near future. I don't think we close below 1655, but if we do, I'm going to be a tad bearish if we close below there. A tad bearish if we close below. Let's make that a smaller font. 24, and that's going to be about it on 3D Systems. Just a very, very strong angle. So again, this is not the time to go bullish in my personal opinion. It's made its move. It needs to correct in time or price. Either one's fine. So if it corrects in time, that would trade sideways until earnings and then maybe gap. If it corrects in price, it needs to pull back a little bit more and kind of do its thing. But it's at a really good resistance now. Definitely one of those sell high, buy low, channel looking feels. And I think we should keep our eyes on it. Richard Kish, what do you think about that, man? Does that make sense? Mr. Freeman, any questions? You guys doing good? Stan says he has a May 30 covered call on Netflix. All right. I don't even have to put that one up there. That'll expire just fine. Well, I'll put it anyway. That'll expire just fine. Got some good premium, though, because I'm sure you did that over earnings. There was definitely some premium up there to be had on some of those options. Covered call, Stan J. May. All right. Right on. Fantastic. Let's go look at GILD. And this one has earnings very soon. I'm going to come over here to a weekly chart. And I will say great trade on this one, Stan, and the others who got a chance to trade this one. Here's what I think on GILD, and I could be wrong. I think it's some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure what GILD is going to do on earnings. Right now, it's at a very strong resistance. A lot of white bullish candles in a row on the weekly. That's why I think it's a wave 3. If GILD gaps down on earnings and looks to get bought up, right on. GILD pre-earnings analysis. Just a thought on what could happen. I'm neutral. A gap up would be interesting. I don't specifically have a play for that scenario. What's the scenario? All right, a specific, neutral, boom, GILD, love it. Elliott Wave, real life trading, earnings. There we go, team. Okay. GILD pre-earnings analysis. Got him. So we can wait for that. Here's the daily chart. And again, back to the daily. Yeah, just a really strong wave count. So gap down and looking to play that one bullish. All right, CRUS. Let's go check it out. Your boy Stephen King in the building. Looking like it's a good gap. Cirrus Logic gapping down to 32.52. There's going to be a pretty decent gap. I just wonder how intense that 200 simple will be. I'll put possible small target. Possible small target. Make that. So again, the reason I'm saying that is it is going sideways, so moving averages don't mean that much when stocks are trading sideways. But long terms always usually mean a little something something. I mean, you got a nice support down here. Ugh, what an ugly color. And a nice resistance up in this area here. So, 32.52. I mean, it is in the zone. Cirrus, post earnings, pre-market analysis. Small gap, looks to be in a nice pivot. Might work for a quick bearish day trade. 31.73, 73 is the 200 SMA on the daily. Could be a decent location. Also, CRUS appears to be in a large channel. Okay. There we go. That's what I got on it, Mr. Jackson. Post a lot of these because of earnings. It's just there's a lot to look at always. Boom. Good call though, man. Also might work for a bear call spread or something. Never know. All right. Facebook. Ticker symbol FB. And this one's going to be tough. This one's also down pre-market. Low of this candle is 106.52. So unless we open below there tomorrow, I don't really have anything specific on it. This is tomorrow after close, I believe. A gap right there, and I'll be relatively bearish. I don't know exactly what Facebook's going to do, obviously. I wish I did. Gap up here would be slightly bullish. These are some big gaps for Facebook. So, what is that? That's 8 points. It's not that big, I guess. 10% gap. Probably be, you could do a condor maybe, because that's really the area that you would do a condor on. I don't think it really gaps in either of those locations. Let me see if there's any premium, because I would know if to unravel. That's for sure. It would be this week, 118 and 100. 118, 119, you could get 60 cents and 50 cents. You get 10 cents there, at least. And 199, you would get 75, and since you get 15 cents, you get about 25 cents on that spread, which is not bad over earnings. Okay. Here's what I'm going to go with. The most anticipated Facebook earning for earnings. I don't think Facebook gaps more than 8%. A gap down would not be massively bullish short term, but depends on the location. The only place I would really feel comfortable with a short would be an open at or below pretty much 100. Bullish, very bullish if Facebook gaps up to 118 or higher. One could consider 118, 119, 199 Iron Condor expiring this week for 25 cents. Okay. It's really going to be about it. If Facebook makes it down to 88-ish, I would look to buy for another longer term setup. If you're in shares, a 120 May covered call could be fun. A lot of premium right there. So I'm neutral. I don't know what Facebook's going to do, ladies and gentlemen, but that's kind of my plan. Not specifically sure. I don't think it gaps that far, but obviously, as you guys know, anything is possible. All right, that's Facebook. Got it. And I got some others. Let's run through these really quick. See if there's any swing trades on them. Coca-Cola. No, I'm going to give Coca-Cola a little bit of time. Unless you're wanting to buy here long term. This will be a long-term breakout retest. I don't have a specific trade on Coke, though. Thought maybe the other day you might get a little something, but I think that bearish gap is pretty strong. Visa. So we've gapped down. This is an inside day candle on Visa. 4/26/16 tomorrow. Likely the short-term confirmation direction of this gap. Fun for day traders, short-term swing traders. So here's the cool part. Friday, which is Finance Friday, was a pretty big candle on Visa. Then we got a inside day candle on Monday. Today we have another inside day candle, which I would say 3-day pennant pattern on Visa. Here's your exponential moving averages. And again, it is a bearish retest gap. So black candle gap down. This would form a retest, and we'll see how it plays out from there. Rob says, is Visa an island reversal? Potentially. Again, I don't necessarily, I'm not insanely bearish on anything at this moment in time. We did trade to a previous all-time high on Visa. Likely moves nicely one way tomorrow. Just not sure which way. So again, like Rob's saying, it's really strong resistance. I wouldn't say it's a textbook island reversal, but it's really not bad. Here's the gap up that you're looking at right there. Got some pretty good exhaustion volume. At one point, we were below that gap, and we traded bullish. I think we probably do something like this and then this. If I had to call what I think happens on Visa, it's probably something like that. I will be watching it tomorrow pretty closely for a likely continuation down. Right on. So Wednesday morning, Visa. Great question though, Rob. I definitely say it is absolutely at a really, really strong resistance. All right, let's go look at Delta. Delta Airlines, ticker symbol DAL. And Delta, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that Lita a few days back was saying, hey, this could be a Head and Shoulders. I think she is spot on correct as of right now. Close of the neckline the other day. We had a gap down, so white candle. Really, you have a few ways that you could play Delta. I'll let you guys make the call on how you want to play it. One opportunity would be to short right here with a stop right there. So low of this candle, 43.09, 43.06, 43.16. And really the target would just be down here. So it's a good, that's about a 1 to 2. It's not bad. Also, there's a little bit of pausing area right about here on Delta, so not horrendous. It did close on the neckline short term on the 21st of April. Then again, it had a gap down. It was a great retest gap. So for those of you who are playing Delta pretty constantly, here's your hourly chart. And again, hourly charts are great, great ways to understand where to enter and why. So here's the next day. A little bit of a gap down, trade into the moving average, entry there, stop pretty much where you are now. Looking pretty good. So Delta, mostly because the risk reward is not mind-blowingly phenomenal. I likely won't do this trade official on Delta, but if you guys like it, Delta looks like a small Head and Shoulders pattern. I'll give you guys the link to the chart. Here you go. I know a lot of you trade Delta and American Airlines really, really often, so that's just my thought. I would not be bullish if it broke that low. All right, there's Delta, and here's Alaska Airlines, ticker symbol ALK. And Alaska, nice little small double top right here. I think we're going to keep an eye on this one. Small double top, close of the neckline, might be a retest. That might be it. We might just bounce from there. But I'm going to give that one a few days, probably an inside day candle tomorrow. If we do something like this and start breaking down, we could trade Alaska Airlines bearish. So we're going to look at that one on Thursday. Got it on the list, ready to go. Stan says, February have a January 17 long call. 50 had it for a year last March. Been writing covered calls to offset the cost. Wait till after earnings to write another covered call. Awesome. Thank you, Stan. Appreciate the update. January 2017 call at 50. I love it. Definitely profitable on that one. Okay, cool. Well, let's do this. Let's jot down what we're going to look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an equally busy day. And I'll look at one or two more before I let you guys off on your life adventure. Tomorrow, of course, Energy Wednesday in the afternoon. Here's just a few that you all requested, likely via email or another form, but usually via email. There we go. That's what I got so far. What else? LNG, awesome. USO, got it. British Petroleum, got it. ExxonMobil, got it. ETE, got it. Alrighty, anything else? Let's check out some CHK, some Kinder Morgan, ETP, fantastic. Hess, yep, sounds good. Wonderful. If there's anything else you guys want to look at, just let me know. Let me look at FISV really quick. FISV, Fireserve. This is, again, earnings are coming up. So I'm not saying that you have to do this trade, but again, this is the bubble. Right? This is the one I was like, I think it's in the bubble, guys. So if you wanted to do, if you have some money or some cash left in your Vegas very high speculative portfolio, you want to buy some longer term puts over earnings, this one could be one of them. Just kind of a reminder, because it did close below our trigger, and here it is on the weekly chart. Just as an FYI. Again, this is a weekly chart. From 2012, it has tripled. And it's a really, really unsustainable angle. So again, just throwing that out there. That's FISV. AT&T gapping down. Here's the daily charts. And AT&T, this is probably going to have a little bit of an impact on Verizon a little bit as well tomorrow. 37.52. Yeah, it looks solid. 37. I mean, pretty much anywhere in there is probably going to be a little bit bearish. Good call, Mr. Jackson. Let me hop over here to a weekly chart because, again, I know we ran into a resistance. Here's the resistance right here. Looks like a good gap. AT&T pre-earnings, pre-market, post-earnings, earnings analysis. T looks to be opening in a really good spot. Great pivot. If it can remain here until tomorrow morning, should be a fun day trade into the long term. And if you're looking to buy T or Verizon, give it a few months, and remember, they're in a huge channel. Gonna be a busy morning tomorrow. Yep, I will be turning my phone off tomorrow, as I usually do in the morning, just letting you guys know. I usually don't have any form of communication with the outside world for the first hour or so, usually, while the market's open, unless I just feel like randomly I should. Anyway, there's AT&T. Looks like an interesting little move upcoming. And here's just a few others really quick. Seagate Technology. We don't have earnings yet. They're coming up this week. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. I mean, look at that. To the day of a random drawing, it is shaping up pretty fantastic. So if we trade up a little bit higher, another 2 or 3 days, and gap down on Seagate, very bearish. VMware, ticker symbol VMW. I was debating on where to trade this, right? Low of today was 57, so it would not have triggered that little setup right there. So it is pulling back. Figured it would. I think it continues to pull back a little bit more. That's just, I got a feeling in my bones. So let me look at that on Thursday, and on Thursday I think we can make that one official. LinkedIn did mention and did post the analysis for another strangle on LinkedIn, and got a plan for it as well. So earnings are coming up this week. Just another one to more or less keep your eyes on. It's in a nice squeeze. LinkedIn can gap huge in any direction, and we got the risk reward and all that kind of good stuff set up on LinkedIn. Just as a little bit of a small update, the other strangle that we have out there, DD, is right now, if you paid $1.26 for it, you can sell just this call for $1.26. If you do anything else below, create a bull put spread, sell to close these puts, or create a bear put spread, you should be fine on DD. So at this point, let's see if DD can continue higher. If you got May options, give it about 3 weeks max. Let's do that. Trade up a little bit higher and see if you can make a little bit of money off that straddle. Ladies and gentlemen, woo-wee! That's Tech Giant Tuesday. Busy day for sure. I love it. Create your plans for tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep. I'm going to have to take some melatonin so I can actually sleep tonight. There's no chance I'm sleeping naturally tonight. I'm excited. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.